bring your friends from whatever, Jamaica, from everywhere. Show them this is what we have. And ça son héritage. You know, and we're not saying this parce que t'as fait drôle, but you're gonna come to the show and you're gonna say, yeah, it's us. Today, you could look at us and say, my bragging right comes from Carimi.
Are you ready? Ready.
Hello, Lion Sweet family. Today, I am so excited about the conversation that we are getting ready to have today. And our conversation today literally goes beyond music. It's about legacy, brotherhood, and the power of reunion. For over a decade, Carimi defined an era of Haitian music, blending passion, storytelling, and pure energy into a sound that moved generations. Their sudden breakup in 2016 left a void, but now, 8 years later, they're back, they're selling out arenas, reuniting a movement, and reminding us why they became one of the most influential bands in compa history. Today I have the pleasure of sitting with legends and being able to talk to them directly about what brought them back together, the emotions behind this reunion, and what this moment means for us, the community, Haiti, the culture, and all of the above. Please join me in welcoming Carlo, Richard, and Mickael. Welcome home, Carimi.
Thank you.
I'm so excited about being here with all three of you today. I've had the pleasure of interviewing Carlo, I've never interviewed you. No. I've had the pleasure of interviewing.
For a while, so.
No, you've been low key. We're going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
But I've had the pleasure of interviewing you individually, and in the 13 years of Lion Sweet, this is the first time that I get all three of you together, and what a perfect time to have you here.
Definitely.
Truly a pleasure.
So, as much as Haitian Americans, we believe, we meaning me, that we are the biggest Carimi fans. We think we're diehard Carimi fans. The interesting thing to me is I found out like a year or two ago, a lot of people had no idea where the name Carimi came from. And it turned into like a whole thing on social media that people had no idea Carimi was the first two letters of your names.
Yeah.
So because of that, and I don't trust the real Haitian American diehard fans, I'm gonna start with, can you guys tell us the history of like how Carimi was formed? What made you guys decide to go with the name? Was that incidental? Was it like, oh, this makes sense? Why was it Rika? How did Carimi like come about?
So I think I can start with when we started, and then Mickael definitely can talk about the name itself, right? And I'm sure Richard will add his 2 cents. So at first, when we were a lot younger, back in Haiti, Richard, Mickael, and I, we were part of a band called Cadence. I don't know if anybody knew Cadence back in the days. We had this #1 hit single that was like #1 in Haiti for at least a year, right? It was called And so when each of us left to go to college, Cadence made a concert in New York, Boston area, and stuff like that. And at the time I was in Virginia and Mickael was in New York, and then they contacted us to, do the show with Cadence. And then that's when, I saw Mickael again. But I was in touch with Mickael. We were, playing soccer, all over Queens and stuff like that. He used to come and pick me up, when I was in Brooklyn and stuff like that, to go to Queens and play soccer with him and stuff like that. And after one of the shows, we were like, how about we, put something together? But it wasn't a band per se, right? We were just talking, and then I was like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's think about that. Let's do it. So after the shows, we went back to New York. I went back to college, and then Mickael was at St. John's University at the time, and Richard was at Baruch. And Richard actually got in touch with Mickael. So they were, in touch together. And then Mickael actually proposed it to Richard as well. And then Mickael told me, listen, Richard is in town. Maybe we should propose the project to him as well. And then so Mickael pitched the project to Richard.
Yeah.
And then after a while, before then, Richard was like, I don't know if I want to do that, if I want to get back into this or whatever. So we kind of convinced him, and then he saw, he believed in the project, and then he agreed. Now the name part, we had a bunch of names, and Mickael can speak to this, but
yeah, I want to hear the names. I want to hear the other options as well.
I don't think he should say any of the names because they were really bad until he found Carimi.
Some corny names.
Wait, so who came, boys? You said so. Mickael finalized Carimi?
I'll tell you that. But okay. He skipped like a major chapter.
He had to because
I had to. We were pressing
because there was a Carimi before Carimi. You have to say that. So what happened was, way before the condoms, Carlo and Alex had a band called Tic Tac.
You went for
and yeah,
I want to know
from the beginning. So that band had one song called L'Amour Malheureux, that hit the airwaves. So I went with them two, and we were supposed to be a trio with the new group, with all the songs. He had like a whole catalog of songs. So we presented the project. I'm not going to go into details, but that project never materialized because we got invited. They got invited, him and Alex got invited to the Focus project, which became the Cadas after that. I had to beg to get into the Cadas. That's a whole other story. So now, after we did the whole Cadas thing, Richard will tell you that there's two versions of Cadas. You were part of the first one, right?
Yes.
I think so.
The one at Cayanu with Stéphane Villard.
Yeah. It was spelled different.
The name Cadas came from Richard's band.
Yeah.
The name of the band at first, because we were 16 at the time. 16.
Y'all were what? Say that again. Y'all were what?
It was
y'all were 16? I didn't know y'all were that young.
Yeah, we were young. The name of the band was Focus, right? And we created the name. But Richard had a Cadas. Yeah. And then when, I guess he wasn't doing it anymore, so we approached him.
Yeah, I couldn't do music.
Can we use the name?
That was forbidden.
And that's how we picked Richard's name.
Now we gotta say, you couldn't do music?
It was forbidden.
Where?
Let's finish with the story.
Okay.
So, when we did the Cadas, Richard was always part of the mix. He can tell you that little part. So, through Cadas, he left, because he had to continue to move here to pursue, his studies. Then I moved here. So I think Richard moved after, right?
Yeah.
So what happened is we connected first because Canas had the tour here, so we connected. So ever since I've been here, we connected together. We used to go play soccer and all that good stuff. And then Canas stopped. That's when we decided, we're like, oh my God, we love music. So we started doing music together. And that's when college started for me, when I used to go to St. John's, and I connected with Richard, that used to come in the library at St. John's. Yeah. So that's how all the three of us came together. So by the name, before I let Richard speak, the name, I used to do parties back in Haiti. And, big shout out to my boys. We had a group called Graj. It was Graj. So that was the group, Graj. And that was the first letter of everybody's name. Oh. So when was that? Yeah. He knew that and forgot it. Well, it was I thought it was the email. No. So what happened was, I was walking home with him, and while we were walking, and then we were trying to figure out other names, because there was other names, like Music Lakai.
Oh, please stop.
Music Lakai? No, let's Music Lakai, I got one.
Sucre was the biggest Sucre. Yes, sugar.
We must have been high on something.
So, as I was walking, I was like, yeah, and then I gave him that joke. Like, yo, man, I used to do parties, blah, 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 blah. But, it's like consonants, so RC, RCM. I was like, Then the name, Mickael, Carimi, I was like, shoot, it rhymes with Carimi. Maybe we could do a song, and then it stick like that. But we never spoke about it until it came time to pick a name for the band, and we started asking people, like, what do they think? And I think I could speak about Carlo that went about, oh my God, Carimi is so poetic. You know, there's a story behind it. We can tell something about it, and that's how Carimi stuck. And this is it right now.
No, that's
25 years
beautiful.
later.
25 years later. No, I love it.
So one thing is, what we were supposed to do, it was not a band. It was a project. It was an album that we were going to do. So we were supposed to do. We were not supposed to have, do music. We were supposed to do an album. So we gathered on Saturdays or weekends.
Yeah, Richard used to come to my dorm room.
I used to come to his dorm
Fridays, and then he would spend the night in my dorm room.
Yeah.
And that's how we would start, putting
Laptop,
the album together.
Yeah. We started doing the project.
Yeah.
And put songs together. After that, during the summer, we went to another basement, which was at my cousin's.
At your cousin's house, yep.
And we were doing all the songs there, and it's funny because when you don't have a lot, you create with what you have, and you're able to find out ways and technology to find a way to work. And we didn't have a lot of things. Like I think we had the time he had one keyboard. Yeah. It was Carlo's keyboard.
Yeah, one keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yamaha.
We did the whole. Yeah, we did the whole.
It was the Yamaha. Remember, I gave it to Ben afterwards.
Yeah.
Yamaha.
We did almost an entire album with an old keyboard. That's what people don't understand. Like when we think about it. After that, I think we were able to, when we were finishing the album, to add Triton, like the model. But we started with a very small keyboard.
Literally just one keyboard.
Wow.
One keyboard. And we did all the songs with that one keyboard and computer, which was, I think it was Carlo's computer actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I still have that picture with with that computer and the keyboard in my dorm room. That was back in 97, 98.
Wow.
And I still have that picture.
Definitely.
And that's where everything started.
So I think we spent like close to 2 years to work on this. On the album.
Actually more, maybe 12, maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe 3.
So-
Maybe from 98 to 2001.
I still remember till this day, Richard was going home, and I was gonna take him to the train station because I went to Rutgers University in New Jersey, right, New Brunswick, and he was in New York, so it was just one stop to Manhattan. And then I remember we sat on that bus, taking us the school bus, taking us to the train station, and he was like, "Yo, I was like, what song is that?" And that's the first time he sung Player to me.
Okay.
And he's like, he probably doesn't remember, but we were sitting on that Rutgers shuttle bus, and then he started singing Player to me. It was the first time I heard that. And I was like, oh, sa acabou, and then the following week he came, and then we started putting Player together.
Wow. So 2 years of y'all pretty much starting from the ground.
Yeah.
One keyboard. You're talking about just doing an album. You're connecting as brothers. You're making this all make sense from dorm rooms, meeting up at the library, and then Carimi blows up.
Yep.
When was it when did you know? Like, what was the thing that happened after you kicked off your career where you were like, oh yeah, we're about to be big? What was that thing that's like, yeah, we're gonna be big?
There was never a moment like that.
Really?
There was never.
We didn't know.
Because I think the good thing about it was passion. Like it was so much that we never saw it. We were like, man, we can do this. Like it's not about like we were gonna be like the first Haitian band to do this or that. We were doing it for the passion. And I remember when I played the song for my dad, and he's like, man, that sounds good. Congratulations. And I guess that once you're done, you're gonna go back to Haiti to take over the company. So to tell you that music was not an option. So we were really doing it for fun.
Yeah, for fun.
First, yeah.
I remember my dad called because there was I don't know who caught wind of what we were doing, and Le Nouveliste, which is a newspaper in Haiti, puts an article out saying the ex-members of Cadence are putting together a band in New York. I kid you not, my dad calls me. He's like, "Yo, c'est ma paye toute l'école ça vous et puis c'est la musique.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
C'est pas jazz n'a fait, c'est juste un petit bail que Mickael n'a fait. So, it's one in Balamba music. So my father did not want me to
I think it's a little
at all. My mother, yes.
Yeah, mother, yeah.
You know. And then he was like, yeah, all right, whatever. And then it came out, and then he was impressed, but he wasn't that impressed because
they're never impressed.
No.
Yeah, they're never impressed. they get impressed later.
Yes.
No, so that's crazy. So y'all didn't really have a moment where it was like, oh yeah, we're about to be big. We're about to take over this compa thing.
I'm gonna tell you something. Before the first album came out, I remember the dates, July 21st, 2001. So we dropped Bang Bang in April. I still remember I had like a double deck CD player.
Yeah.
You literally had to sit down. It worked just like a cassette. So you had to wait for the song. So we did that, we did the printouts, and then we sent them to Haiti. So my phone blew up. There was like, nobody knew who it was. Because until that time, besides Mouche Tonton Noel, I had never sung a song.
Wow.
So the people that really knew me, knew it was me, but everybody did not know. And we had a song that was talking about, like the youth was actually talking at that particular point of time. Because at that particular point of time, people started, some of the people had guns, but used to carry. But the violence started, but it's not nowhere near what we have today. So when we did the Bang Bang, and then Upito Femme Dejo, Aiseki Boisio, they all talk, but they would never come back. Like all that story, like connected with Haiti, and I kid you not, my phone started blowing up. I remember that song came out the same time as Seba Buddha on the Compa Magazine project. Those two songs was just going crazy. So at that particular point in time, maybe we thought we were on something, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I had done Cadence already, so Cadence was a pretty good project. I think Richard did King Bassi, so we were accustomed to some sort of kind of success, but we didn't know. We didn't know.
Wow.
If we had to rewrite it, we did not know.
So what year did success hit? So it's 2001, music is out, my two favorite songs is trending. And what year was it that you knew then, it was like, okay, because you guys started, I think I forgot who I spoke to, was it Mickael? When I had an interview with you, you talked about you started traveling and you guys were traveling everywhere and doing different bars.
Before that, when we did the first performance, November 9, 2002.
2001.
No, November 9, 2002.
No, it was right after 9/11.
What?
No?
Il part à 2001, album de sorti juillet 2001.
It was 2001.
2001.
It was right after 9/11.
He's right.
2001.
2001. November 9, at SOBs we started performing, and when we saw everybody singing every single song.
Yeah, and the band was sounding like trash. Let's say that.
No, it was bad.
That day it was sounding like trash.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. The first date,
but it was bad.
People didn't care. People were singing the songs. They didn't care.
They knew the words. They knew what the songs word for. You probably just needed to stand up there and just let everybody else sing.
Yeah, that day I was like, oh, this is bigger than what we thought.
December of that same year, we were to Haiti. People were crying when we were singing Bang Bang. The next year, when we started traveling, we started like the major French island tours, and that's when we really knew something was up.
Yeah.
I think that's when we started traveling to Martinique, Guadeloupe, and then we started doing big venues because we were doing stadiums at that time. So that's when we knew something was up.
One of the key things I've heard from when I talk about people that were listening to your music back then, and especially like millennials not even millennials, young, older, and they talk about how they felt like at that time you were the voice of the generation then. They felt like you were doing music that was saying the things that they needed out there, speaking for Haiti and speaking for what they were going through. But at the same time, you were also giving them music to just dance at the bars and everything else. Was that intentional, or
I don't think it was, honestly. Again, like Richard said, we were just following our hearts, right? We just literally just put down what we felt and what we, at the time. And we were influenced by a lot of American songs and stuff like that. So we just put everything together. Yeah. I don't think in our minds we were like, all right, we're going to do this so that we can be successful 2 years later. We had no idea. We just followed, our heart and our passion. And we just put it together and then it blew up.
I think the beauty of success is when it's natural.
Organic.
Yeah.
So it's now when you become an experienced producer, everything is calculated. And you know what you're doing, when you're doing it, where you have to cater to. In that time, we didn't know, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, we didn't.
We did songs, and it just, I hate when people don't think that luck works. Luck, we have to be lucky too.
No, absolutely.
It's just like perfect time.
There was also a void.
Yeah.
There was nobody our age.
I was going to ask that next. Who else sounded making music like that?
Nobody our age had that speech. Nobody our age was speaking for the Haitian Americans.
Yeah.
Nobody was like singing for the people that were not into heavy compa. Yeah. We were like more like a boy band type of light compa, something very that influenced by everything that's going on outside of our world. So I think nobody was doing that, and that was refreshing. I still remember, people coming to me and be like, oh my God, the way that some people were saying when we moved to add like a real drummer, is that we destroyed the real Carimi sound essence, because the little MPC with the drum machine, that was the sound that made us like what we are today.
So did you, now, you said you didn't know, right? You didn't know where you guys were going. But you're traveling, you're selling out all the venues that you're in, shows are getting booked, you have a management team now, success is happening, right?
It wasn't like that. I mean, you have to understand, we started from zero, the real zero. We're not talking about a zero that we got helped.
So there was no management team?
No, we had Tanya. Yeah. We had Tanya Guirand at that particular point of time, which is Fito's sister-in-law. So Fito was always behind the scene. We had close friends, Roger Z. We had a bunch of group of people that was there with us, like at truly, at the beginning. But I still remember when we went to sign our first contract, we spoke to, late Joubert Charles. He was like, you guys look like a bunch of students. You're not going to take this music thing seriously. I don't think I want to invest in that project. Yeah. Biggest mistake of his life, And then that's when we went to speak to late again, Philippe Lavlanet, which was like a good friend of my brother-in-law. And he was like, yeah, I'll do that. That was the first time we had an injection of money, to buy.
And you have to say, when he was listening to the album the first time,
he fell asleep.
He fell asleep in the car listening to our album. And I looked at Mickael, I was like, we're
embarrassing.
He literally fell asleep listening to
I don't think he cared.
Imagine that.
I don't think he cared.
I like how you're trying to save him.
He did not.
I don't think he cared.
He didn't care. Okay, listen.
He didn't care.
He didn't care.
I don't think he cared.
So for people that don't know, the first check that we got for the album was $15,000.
Yeah.
Wow. Back then, is that
100% of it went
to buy? It was bad.
Okay, listen.
Like 100% of it went to buy instruments.
We took $15,000. We went to Samash. We bought the entire instrument. With the money
to have the band.
But it was $15,000 for the album that will be one of the biggest seller in the Haitian.
That was for the people that got this deal. That should go in the.
That was tough. That was tough because I remember
that album sold like
so $500,000.
But at that time, did you even care because where you were? Were you like, okay, we're just going to do this? We're going to get more instruments. Do we care or what? Because you planning on going back to
you talking to people. I mean, you talking to people had no car. We're taking buses. We're on limited budget to eat. you know, had like weird sleeping arrangements, if we can call it like that, because I was with my sister, he was at his uncle.
Oh my God.
And then he was on campus. You understand? So we did not have that type of structure that we had at home back in Haiti. So, no pas de bon mime.
Yeah. A guy gives you $15,000.
No pas de bon mime.
And then you made it. You thought you made it?
No, I mean, we knew that we had to buy instrument and we were not going to have a penny after that. And think about it.
We're college students. Like,
You're doing this, you don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah.
But a guy gives you $15,000, you're going to take it and buy instruments.
Yeah.
You still don't know if it's going to work.
But you still do it. Yeah. I think we believed in it.
Yeah.
I think we wanted to take the chance.
Yeah.
I think money, I don't know if it's because of our upbringing, our education. I mean, we did not see it as a big risk.
Correct.
We just, it came out natural. You understand? It came out natural. The only thing I would tell for myself, I was already working. So I had like a good job. I used to work in the city in Manhattan for Deloitte & Touche. I was there for 9/11. I mean, that's a totally different story. So when I lost my job, because I lost my job, we started in November. I lost my job in April. That's when I was like, yo, this is either gonna work or I'm moving back to Haiti. There's no middle ground.
Yeah.
So I think when we decided to go for it, we just went for it. I think it was a question, there was no looking back. We did not know that we were gonna be successful. And this is like the truth, honest. So, but we felt something, I don't know, and then we went for it. And looking back at it, best decisions ever.
Best decision ever.
I mean, yeah, we can live with it.
I love that you said that, because the next question I have is, okay, so you guys get together, just hearing how you started now just kind of even give me such a different perspective of what that was like as like young compa band coming together from Haiti, like even knowing like, okay, y'all a little bit more Haitian American at this point when you're starting the band than...
Richard can tell you the feedback he got when he went to Haiti with the album to have like musicians play on it.
So that's my next question. You guys come in now, and you're the compa band, but you're kind of like the it compa band at the time. How were you received in this community?
Well, like Mickael said, in the beginning, you think it was an explosion right away. We had our niche, like we had people that love us. But
tell us that. How long did it take? When did the breakthrough happen?
Is, like Mickael said, we have no musicians, right? We do the song, I have to go to Haiti. So I have to play the song in front of all these, I don't want to say whole heads, but these musicians that have been in the game for a long time, and they're gonna play on something that sounds new. Yeah. So they started playing, and they're like, man, this is new, this is good. So they think that it's gonna work right away. Some have, some people, like when they look at Mickael, Carlo, it's like a band together, like, there's no way it's not gonna work. Yeah. But you're listening to people telling you don't know if it's gonna work. Now, when you put the album and you have an explosion, in your head, your surrounding loves the album, right? You think it's like everywhere. But the compa direct people were like,
what is that?
What is that? Like bubblegum. They used to call it bubblegum music.
They thought y'all were the NSYNC of compa?
Yeah, that's what it was. Like for them, Yeah. So we had that little niche that loved the song, and wherever we were going, it's like we were surrounded. But we totally forgot that there was another world that really did, vibe. I mean, a hit was a hit. Bang Bang was a hit. Yeah. Yes, but saying that we exploded everywhere, it was not there.
It was not like that yet.
It was not there yet.
It took a while.
So what's a while? How many years from when you started to where?
I mean, don't get me wrong, we exploded pretty fast compared to other people.
Yeah.
But it took...
Yeah, we had to grow on some other people. On some other folks, we had to pretty much grow.
They did not know us for at least... I mean, this is how you had to see it.
Yeah.
So when he speaks about the niche, so we had like the people that knew us. So we had like a fairly okay type of...
Yeah, young community.
They knew the songs, but it takes a while. This is how Haitians work. They will love something they will like go crazy, but they will not follow you until they trust you.
Correct.
It's so they're not gonna. So now I'm gonna tell you something. If I'm doing a party, the people are gonna come because they trust that I'm gonna give them, like, you know, a quality of music. You know, they're gonna have a good time. So until you get to that point, you don't have a following. You just have a hit song.
There's no social media back then. There's no.
So what he's saying is so true. It's really based on what you can provide them. Like, they have to see it and they feel it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it has to feel real. And that's what it, like Mickael said, when they accept you, you're there for a long time.
Yeah.
But people think that the Haitian crowd is a tough crowd.
They are.
It's a
Yes,
tough
they
crowd.
are. Yes, they are.
I'll tell you that, you know, we perform in different places.
Yeah.
You ask each of these guys, who's the toughest crowd?
Yeah.
Has to be Haitian.
Yeah.
Every time. But you move the Haitian crowd, you move any other crowd.
But they love you. But they will make you work for it.
Yeah.
They will.
So again, I want one of y'all to kind of break down for us 2001. How many years later? What year is it? Like, oh yeah, we're
Accepted.
you're accepted. The community love you. Because at this point, Haitian Americans obviously loved you. New York was like your biggest space. So what year was it to where this is it? Because you had a time frame where you were going and going and going and going too.
I want to give you like a fast timeline. Right?
Yes.
So 2001, Ben comes out, album comes out, crazy. So the people, they acknowledge us, they understand, they know we there. I mean, they love us. I mean, we had great like parties with other bands, great events, right?
Yeah.
But we were still growing. But when the second album came out, we're talking about 2006, right? That's when Are You Ready came out. Nasty came out 2003 with Por Favor. Yeah, okay, I'm so sorry. Nasty came out in 2003. That was a follow-up of the first album. Everybody said because of the success of the first album, that's why we got the Nasty, and then we kept rolling. Now it came out Are You Ready? I think that was our hardest album. We had to fight. I think that's when we started really going after it. And when Buzz came out, that's when we signed it. That's when it was game over.
What year was that?
That was 2010.
2010.
November 2009.
So 2009-10, you're literally the band at this point.
Yeah.
You're selling out shows, you're traveling, you're doing international shows.
So when you look at it, think about it.
2001, so
It took 9 years, 10, close to 10 years to be accepted.
Fully accepted.
Fully accepted. That's why when I see people like they put an album out, they're like, oh, découragé, and I'm like, dude, do you understand the struggle? Like, you know, you have to work. You have to work.
Yeah.
You know, so
especially now, if people will drop an album and 2 months later, they're like, okay, they're over, they're on to the next thing. Like, I'm watching artists not promote the album. They don't have a marketing strategy behind it. 3 or 4 months, they're like, oh, the fans are okay now, we're ready for another one. They haven't done shows. And back then, you had to keep working that same exact album, the singles, over and over and over and over to really consider yourself success, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to work 10 times more because there was no social media. Like, I mean, there was social media, but it was not at this point.
It was radio.
MySpace?
Yeah, there was MySpace, there was High Five, there was radio.
So you have to perform here in Martinique. I mean, there's a good and bad. Don't get me wrong. You have an album, you're able to go to different places and still have a great turnout. And now it's like a different thing. You know, people saw you here, it's already, it's spread over the internet by the time, I know what he's going to do in that. So it's like, you know,
I think the worst, if I remember, like if we're talking about like until to get the recognition, I mean, we love the music. I mean, we were doing it because we loved it.
Yeah.
We had no idea of what the business meant. We had no idea of what we meant and what we were worth. They were selling us as like mainstream artists.
Yeah.
They were charging for us mainstream money.
To come and see you at shows.
Yeah, and we were getting paid
Peanuts.
like peanuts. Yeah, let's put it like
Peanuts.
So you guys, so what you're saying is back then you kind of had the same business and marketing strategy of U.S. entertainers.
No. All I'm saying is we did not know
The business side.
that at all.
Were you part of the business? Were you part, aside from the contract, once you signed it, were you part of the business end, or was it really much? 'Cause you know, you get these stories of artists like, we were so passionate that we were just working.
Yeah, because
they made so much money off it. We never
why
got
is
a
it so
dollar.
common to have artists talk like that? Because at that particular point of time, they don't know the business.
Yeah.
That's first. Second of all, they are passionate about the music and understand that, oh, if I do the music and the music works,
Yeah.
all right, so eventually we're going to get to that point without realizing that the business is 80% of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the music is 20%. So now, here we are taking care of the 20% and getting screwed on the other
And
80.
I was even guilty of that because my passion was producing music.
Yeah.
I hated the business part of it, which is why we had a manager, right? And I just Mickael was more in tune in the business part. But Richard and I think we were more about just, music. That's where I felt alive. Yeah. The business part of it, please, just
But
deal with it.
I think it takes time, but I think we grew. We grew in understanding the financial aspect of it. But he's right. In the beginning, we were not inclined to, do.
We are even like.
So around these years, I gotta ask.
I'm going to go because that has to be in Creole. No one by story side. Go into the details.
But it's not just your story. It's about your story side.
No, that Carlo college is bad. It's really bad.
No, listen, when he's saying that, I understand. I mean, there's guys in the business promoters that I came, right now I'm like, you stole the most money from us. Like I told producers that. Like I told promoters. Like I remembered coming to him and I'm like, for all these years, like I knew, what you were doing all these years. So we didn't know what really we were worth. Like we were playing, we were performing. And today, what we know today is like, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
No,
I'm definitely going to come back to that once we start talking reunion talk, right?
Okay.
So all of this is going on. You're going through the business, the typical artist business part of it all, but you're blowing up. Fans love you. Of course, fans don't care about the business side. You're showing up, you're working, and everything else. So you just said 2009, 2010 is about the year where you're like blowing up. 2016, so within that time frame, 6 years later, you break up.
Yeah.
Right? So you call it quits, you guys go your own way, there's no longer Carimi. After that happened, Mickael, were you the one that made the decision, and I'll let you guys speak on that part, how hard was it to sit back now, you're in the era of like blowing up, it's Carimi everything, and it's like we got to take a step back from that. What was that like? What was it like? Like I have to have this conversation.
Okay, so for me, if I'm going to talk clearly, so when we started with Carimi, it was Carimi and nothing else.
Yeah.
So no family, no nothing. So it was, if they call you, it's like you're a doctor. You just gotta show up. It don't mean like anything going on in your personal life comes second. So after 15 years, if we're gonna put it like that, I came to at a hard crossroad, and I needed to take a step back. You only get one life. So at a particular point of time, you gotta take a step back and be like, yo, something gotta give. So when I came to that corner, I wanted a break. I was burned. I mean, let me put it like, I hated the job. I had lost the passion. I hated the job. I didn't want to be there no more. Going to the big places meant nothing. The minute that I started my car going to work, I automatically was in a bad mood. So I had lost the passion. So the inability for me, and maybe for the team, or the fact that we probably did not have a proper support system, to really guide us through, because sometimes you're going through it, you don't have that outside perspective to tell you, hey, you're messing up, or you know, doing this, come on, take them through this. So we did not have that. So it came to a point where it just blew up.
Yeah.
I mean, I blew up. I'm not gonna even go like different places. I blew up. I had to stop.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at Vibe, which started about, all right, so Carimi stopped around July. Vibe started a year later.
Yeah.
And I've been going nonstop ever since. So it was truly a break. I did not need to leave the business. I just needed to branch out. I just needed to recalibrate, refocus, and reset so I could restart. And I'm working more today than I was working in the Carimi days. Yeah, because even though I have a new team, my responsibility is way more.
Yeah.
You understand? So it wasn't a question of like not wanting or breaking Carimi. And I think that's the genuine that I think that people see in us that made the love never stop. So today, you know, let's say, 9 years later, people are still connected with us as if we were still there those whole years.
Yeah.
Because they understood and they saw the truthness, you know, the real in what we were offering. And even though we were separated, you know, the moment that we decided to get it back, you know, they saw it and then they reconnected.
So I think, you know, I mean, there's things that he's saying that I already knew. I think people don't understand that the minute that it's a job and you go and perform for people, like, it doesn't matter what problem that you have home, you know, it doesn't matter. You have to make that person that paid the ticket, they don't care if you had a fight home, they don't care. You have to please them. So your mental has to always be, you have to be the same person. You laugh, you fake it, you just smile. You have, but the problem that we have in our market is you're doing this every weekend.
Yeah.
I see them more than I see my family. I see them more than I see my mom. I mean, I remember going back to Haiti and I looked at my mom like, my God, you know, I can see, like, you know, she got older fast. Like, I saw that. So
Yeah.
I understand that being together for a long time, it, at a certain point, it's just like, it's stress. Like, there's a lot of stress. So it is not easy to do this every weekend. And I mean, a lot of you guys here, you go to your job, you hate the bus, right? I mean, you go and after, like, oh, I need to
Why y'all
work
all
this job.
quiet like y'all love your bosses?
If you don't have bosses, good, congratulations, okay? I'm just saying, in general, you know, some of you guys want to leave the job at a certain point, like they don't want, you know, so it's not easy to just maintain it all the time. So I understand what he was saying, and it happened that we were performing, but you know, I can say that it's like it became too much of a job. And, you know, we had the name, so you knew it was guaranteed. Oh, you're gonna play here, you're gonna get paid. You're gonna play, you're gonna get. It was too much of a job, and that's when you lose the passion.
Yeah, we lost the passion after a while.
So, you guys took a break. Carimi is over. We were mad at y'all. We were. Were we not upset?
But you guys are not loud, so I don't feel. So. But he's still, you see, that's like two people, like, you know. Can I hear you?
That's crazy.
We were hurt. But we also knew, we understood the break. We understood the break. We knew you guys had to take a break. And then you guys started different projects and you started performing. And we were like, okay, let's go Vibe. Okay, let's go Kai. But what about Carimi? So we had been waiting for you guys to come back for a very long time, but you weren't really talking about it. You weren't answering questions. And I remember during the pandemic, we did the interview 2020, and I was even afraid to ask you, like,
Yeah.
I was like, is it okay for me to, I said, you know, Lisa, they're going to want to know, is it possible? Will you come back? Will you? And I remember then you made a decision, then you were like, you know what, I'll answer the question that yes, it is open. Our 20th, I think you, at the time you said our 20th anniversary was coming.
21.
Yes, and then I called you right after and I was like, did you hear Mickael said? So we need to get ready for Carimi's coming. So even after that, what was the thing that happened, a defining moment where you took a step back and said, yeah, we're ready to come back. We got to give the fans what they want. Was it just business? Okay, let's get back into business. Like, what was the thing that was like, we're going to do this reunion tour?
All right, so when the breakup happened, right, so it was like a fresh wound. You couldn't touch that thing without creating some sort of reaction, you know, explosive reaction, and, you know. But with time, you know, it died down a little bit, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know for the other guys, they made me pay for that thing. Everywhere I go, I'm not talking about the Haitian community, everywhere I go, they call me Carimi straight. They're like, hey, what's up? So I remember I was doing an interview, and the guy was like, how dare you? Wow. How dare you break Carimi? I was like, he's like, yeah, Carimi Papu. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it's Carimi, c'est un monument national lié. How dare you?
Yeah.
The kept comme si I gave you 15 years, no questions. Malate on gig. Listen, ça va intéresser m'sou dit malade. It's yeah, how dare you? And I just froze. I couldn't even. I had no answer.
Wow.
Because go kote ba arrivé, people like become dependent.
Yeah.
I remember during the earthquake, right? You take Caribri that we were supposed to be at Hotel Montana that fell, so they thought that we passed. So I'm driving like 1 day or 2 days after the earthquake, and the guy sees me, and he was like, "Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!" I was like, okay, I'm like, because Pagirajo, I'm not listening to anything, I don't know what the story. It's like, oh my God, the people, just like that. Munyo Mesha, I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you di que nous mouri, blah, blah, blah. No, because we were at the digital building and not at Hotel Montana. And the guy is telling me, as I'm driving in the window, he's telling me, yeah, that he survived. His whole family passed. Yeah. And he was happy that I didn't die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Kebela, continue faire nos musique, c'est nous qui fait nous vivre, blah, blah, blah. I was like,
wow.
Wow.
Powerful.
So
that's
what it is. So when you talk about that Carimi, or like when you become important in the business, it's crazy.
But it's not just the business. You're
in the culture.
You're important
That's
to
what I meant.
all of us. Like a lot of people growing up. Like I didn't have compa music in my house when I was growing up. Your music was one of the only thing that would play. That's all my mom would allow my dad to like continuously play.
You see what you just said? So, you know how many people come to me and say, oh my God, my mom loves you. I was like, thank you for making me feel so old.
Listen, that Christian lady didn't want nothing in the house, but she let me play.
But the good thing about it is being to bridge like 2 generations or even 3. The fact that people still know and the music still, you know, exists from one generation to the other is a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, so very fortunate. Not a lot of bands can say that they were able to go from one generation to the other. So that's some good.
Yeah. For your show in New York, which is a sold-out show, by the way.
Yes.
In New York, they had kids in the audience. Like parents bought their kids and their kids would sing in the song. What does that feel like for you? Because you talk about generation crossing over generationally, that you have these younger kids now all on TikTok singing Carimi's music.
That was big. I mean,
it's one thing that I usually say. People always ask me, how do you feel when you're on stage? I'm like, think about it. You take a pen and a paper, you write something, you put it into music, and then you go on stage, you see thousands of people playing, like singing what came in your head.
Yeah.
It's a feeling you can't explain.
Non, faut dire ça, la toilette. What fait cette musique, la toilette? Faut dire ça.
Seriously, it's crazy. Like, and then now to think that little kids, you know, thanks to their parents, of course, right, are actually singing that song that you wrote 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's something you can't even begin to explain. It's a great feeling. I can't even.
I had my little niece, like we were graduating high school, so I mean she happened to graduate in St. John, so we're going to the ceremony. So all right, I'm going with my family because so I'm walking in the parking lot, and then this I mean she probably was like 14, 15, and started hyperventilating. Oh my God, Carimi. Yeah. So it's that's how it is. So it goes from generation to generation to generation, and it doesn't lose any type of force. My son for Culture Day, and then he's calling me, and then he's like putting his face on the side because they're playing Are You Ready for Culture Day, at his high school. So he was like, you hear that? I'm like, yeah, man, tell him who you are. He's like, come on, please, leave me alone.
But at least he called you.
But I don't know if it's technology today, but think about it. Like, not a lot of band can say that. I mean, I've seen that, with other band, like other market, when you have a band that goes from one generation to the other. When you're looking at, bands from the American markets, you can see Rolling Stone having even younger people.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of other band in our industry that can say that they have different age gap coming to their shows. Which is for me, I will say that the music is very important because of the way you create the songs. It allows you to have different generation to come. And I don't think we did that on purpose, but it's a fact.
It's powerful.
And that's why you're a legendary artist.
Thank you.
Talking about compa and even your industry, since your peak, right? Compa now is completely different. When you started, they were telling you, like, what is this? Now people are mixing compa with Afro beats and all these other genres. The conversation is, compa is next, as if we ain't been here, but but compa is next up and so on. What do you think, as Carimi, or even as individual artists, what do you think your role has been in being able to shape that?
I mean, most of the people that listen to us were not listening to compa before. So they were like brand new fans. So we were presenting this genre to a brand new fan base that grew up and then went to listen to other Haitian band or other Haitian music. So 25 years later, right? So now you have people being like proud or knowing compa, because the compa that we're playing is not the compa that's being international right now. So it grew. So a new generation of producers, a new generation of musicians are presenting the compa that we have right now with the Joey Duet Filet, with the, that are really walking on an international level right now. So I think we did our part, man. We did our little job. We do not have a responsibility towards the future, and that's in that sense, because this is called evolution.
Yeah.
So we did our little part already. Now all we're trying to do with our brand is to solidify the base. Now, when you have a Carimi that's able to do arenas,
yes,
when you have a Carimi that's able to, to have that big platform, so we're just here to solidify. I don't think right now, all our best music, are in the albums that came out already. I'm not saying that anything can happen, but all I'm saying is, right now, the really responsibility that we had about 20 years ago, now we're just giving the producers and the musicians and the bands of today a better environment to grow.
From your split, or when you separated, to now, you are getting ready for your third reunion show.
Okay.
You've done Paris, you did New York, and now Miami. Now at this point, not from like the first show to where you are right now, do you consider what you're doing now it's unfinished business, like you're handling unfinished business from then, or do you see this as like a new beginning?
That's a good question. That's an amazing question, actually. Damn.
Wow. I don't even know how to answer that.
I know,
How to
but
answer this and be correct. Yeah, that's a problem. That's again. I think that each of us will have their their answers compared to the way they see the business today or what we have accomplished. Our goal was also to put the music where it was never been done, like I put before. Like the fact that I have to give him, Mickael was saying it, if we're doing a reunion, we should do arenas. And, I have to give them the credit. They forced it, they pushed it. So it's having a bigger vision. So doing something like this, you're the first person to do it. It does bring satisfaction for you, but it does, like Mickael said, it sends a signal saying that this is what Haitian music can do. And you guys can follow also. But if I tell you right now today, I'm satisfied because it's like when I go to any other place, I'm at my gym or I'm like, the guy's saying, yeah, they just did UBS. And like, who are they? It's like, oh, it's a Haitian band. For me, it's like total satisfaction because you're saying that I don't have to be in the Haitian market, the American market to be able to do that.
Yeah.
For me, that means this is a big deal for me because, you had Wyclef that started, that did that and they did the Fugees, they did Arena, but they were singing English. Now you're doing it in Creole and you have 15,000, 18,000 people in front of you. So for me, it's a big accomplishment. So.
Exactly, as it should.
I mean, whether or not it's a new beginning or, just an accomplishment, I don't know. I mean, Richard has his thing going and he's very successful at it. Mickael has his thing going, he's very successful at it. I mean, maybe we'll try it a couple of times, but whether or not we're going to, because a lot of people are saying, maybe we should come back with Ben. I don't think that's going to happen.
Wait, you just gonna drop that like that? Wait, Carlo, you just gonna wait.
He gets to the.
He tried to run with that real fast.
Make sure he gets all the hit mails.
Hold on.
Filmez Carlo vous-même, s'il vous plaît. Faites ton Carlo vous-même, s'il vous plaît.
Still my heart.
The reason why I'm saying that is not because I don't want it to happen. All right, or contraire, I want it to happen, right? However, I understand also that Richard has his own thing going, right? And I have to respect that. I understand that Mickael has his own thing going, and I have to respect that. So what's going to come? It's going to be a sacrifice of both of them to break up what they already have, so that they can come back with something that we had before. And I think it would be selfish of me to say, yeah, break up your stuff, so that you can come back and join us, to do stuff, And well, I mean, that's the way I would see it, right? So unless it's something that we decide together and we say, all right, we're going that route, and they feel okay doing that to their own business that they have right now, then I'll be like, all right, cool. It's our decision, it's your decision, it's individual decision. But me personally, I cannot ask that of them, which is why I'm saying, I don't think it's going to happen.
Let me send him.
I don't want to be that selfish person.
Let me send
what you have.
Let me send him a lifeboat so he doesn't drown in this one. I'm gonna put it for you in a very nice and clear way so you guys understand. So what I told Richard, because I spoke to him first about that Carimi thing, I was like, if we're gonna do Carimi to do like small stuff, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe that Carimi has a brand, and what we did for the 15 years, it's worth way more than that. So, and I told him that. I was like, yo, Madison Square Garden, that was my vision. So I was like, this is where I want to go. If it's not there, I don't want to go.
Agreed.
Don't call me. So for me, 100%. If it's something I could do with Vibe, not like I don't do big things with Vibe, but if I'm going to pull the Carimi card, I got to be going for something big. I just don't want to just put it out there for cheap. Because this is something that requires a lot of resources, a lot of sacrifices, and with the brand that we have, is so strong that we can go after big things. Yeah. So now, you do a UBS, everybody was kind of scared before the UBS, but we sell it out in record time.
Yeah.
Now, everybody was like, yeah, si nous fait New York là, Miami about Modi. We're going to say about that Friday.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So right now, all I'm saying is, some people are like, yeah, mais quand c'est fait, là, quand c'est Carlo, il tourne à Carimi. Pour faire qui ça? To do what? What are we going to do with it? So we could start playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday every weekend.
I don't want to do that.
Again about that. I think not only it destroys the brand, right? For something that the people see for so big, and then you just kill it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think we have vibe, we have Kai for that. If you want to go on a Friday, Saturday type of situation, we'll be more than happy to play for you. But when it comes to this brand, this is the one that when you when you have that Bentley or that that Bugatti sitting in
That's
the garage.
The car. That's the car. That's the one you slap on the desk.
Yeah, that's when you want to go somewhere and be like, yo, this is who I am. That's the card you pull. So that's how I see Carimi. So it's not a question of we don't want to do this or we don't want to do the sacrifice, because just doing the Carimi is a big sacrifice on our bands, because we have to stop our particular bands, because especially in a place like Florida, it's hard to maneuver with a Carimi happening in that area. Same thing if we do it in New York, same thing if we do it anywhere else. So for Carimi, it's always going to be about, and I always say that people think I'm rude. So it's like a yes or no type of situation. You either can do it or you cannot do it. This is not a negotiation type of situation. And people think I'm being mad, upset, or rude, or comme si pédant. Yeah. I think I'm more than that. Arrogant. But this is a situation, it's about, we're doing it or we're not doing it. Yeah. Can you afford it or you can afford it? Okay. All right. You want vibe? Yeah, of course. I give you vibe. But you want Carimi? It's like a black and white situation. Because I saw a friend of mine, and he was like, yeah, I was in a Justin Bieber concert, and I was like, yeah, Carimi did my, Carimi mo kasa. I was like, yeah, because we put it at that level. So we're not saying we get the budget to do like all the big things, but we try to go and really elevate that, in a way that now when you're saying that this is Haitian music, you can be like, oh, yeah. This is.
You set a bar for
exactly.
it, and that bar is non-negotiable.
Definitely. I mean, he's right. I think he's
we're
right.
not gonna, how do you say that? Water it down and then, like Mickael said, go and start performing every weekend, because God knows I can't do that anymore. I don't know how they have that energy. For that, because they have that energy to do it. I mean, I know I don't have that energy to perform week in and week out. Performing a couple of concerts and stuff like that. Definitely, I'm open to it. So we're not going to water down our brand, and just to start performing every weekend. Again, I'm not knocking people that are doing it. My two good buddies are doing it. I'm not knocking them. They have the energy for that. But me personally, I don't.
Yeah. Were you adding anything?
It's not a sad day, man.
Huh?
It's not a sad day.
No, it's not.
No.
But
you see, no, listen, you're processing right now. You're processing.
Yeah, but you're going to have us for big shows.
Listen, I think you guys, the way you should look at it is bring your friends from whatever, Jamaica, from everywhere, show them this is what we have. And ça son héritage. And we're not saying this parce que t'as fait drôler, but you're gonna come to the show and you're gonna say, yeah, it's us.
We
can do that too. So I think that's today you could look at us and say, my bragging right comes from Carimi. So that's what it is. So it is what it is.
I like that. So with that being said, you made it clear, and I actually love the response. So now with you, all three of you guys knowing that, how do you prepare a set list? How do you decide Because if I only get to see you in Miami, what kind of show am I going to get? Are you going to skip one of my favorite songs? What does the set look like? What does rehearsal? Because if I can't, no, you don't have to tell me full. Do y'all want to scream your favorite songs? Move it.
We apologize. We're playing that. Listen.
I'm sorry.
No. I was going to say something. The thing is,
you don't have to give the set list.
No.
But I do want to know, how do you decide?
I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
It's 15 years of playing all the songs and having that feedback from everywhere we go. So if let's say we're doing a set list for Paris, it's not going to be the same set list for here.
Correct.
Because certain songs that worked in Paris
did not work
here, and vice versa. So we take that into consideration.
So who did that research?
We did it based on our experience.
Because if one of my songs don't play on Friday, because you thought Paris wanted it about me.
This is what we'll do for you, right? This is what we'll do for you, right? After the show, give us your special list. We'll create like a little acoustic special. But I think the set. I think the list is. I will tell you something. When we did the show in New York, the show was close to 3 hours, no break.
Wow.
So we no buy your music.
Okay. Okay.
So it's like even for the other musicians that were there, they were like, "Yo, come see that set was long."
And go to any concert.
Yeah.
Go to any concert.
I went to a concert 45 minutes.
Please tell me if you see an artist playing for 2 hours and 45 minutes on the stage.
Yes,
Non-stop.
straight up, non-stop.
Non-stop.
No break. 4 hours. What I will tell you is based on exactly the data that we've gathered, the same way we do the playlist.
Yeah.
Around 2.5 hours, you guys start dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, dying down big time. So it's not really in the best interest of the show to do it too long because people get really tired, and when it's time to close the show, I have to really
And we have to save,
really
we
work
have to
hard
save
for
it for
that.
the next concert that we have, so that you can come back again.
Said the guy that says no Carimi.
Is there anything you went into the reunion like you knew for a fact this was it, you were excited like this was going to be it, and then you found out during promotions, marketing, or the show like, oh wow, we thought this, but it didn't happen? And is there anything you weren't expecting at all, and you were like, wow, didn't see that coming?
I was not expecting to have 7,000 tickets in the first day.
Yeah.
Oh, for UBS, right?
Yeah. I was not expecting that. Wow. That was a big, listen, that's the first time, you think you know until you do it. Like, nobody ever did an arena before. Yeah. So, say guinea pig law, you don't know if it's going to work, if it's going to be like, and the minute that we had 7,000 people, the people from UBS, they're like, okay, this is serious right now.
Yeah.
So they at the same time they said, the fact that they were able to sell 7,000, that means, and they all have data, like everything is just like, calculated. Mm-hmm. So they knew, they like, okay, it's gonna be a sellout show. Like
I want to tell you something. So when we did the New York, right, it went by so fast that they wanted to open a second date.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was that serious. The problem that we had with UBS is the Saturday, the 28th of December, because they are a hockey venue, so they had a home game for the hockey team. They asked the hockey team to move the date to Sunday. They was like, no, it ain't happening. That's why we stick to one day, but we were gonna go for 2 days, back to back. So,
But that happened to us in Zenith back in Paris back in the days.
yeah, about a week before the end of the show, they were like,
outside, do a second day with like, you know,
Yeah.
they're like, we need to go in, and then we had like, I don't remember how many people we had that time, but there were so many people without tickets and that wanted to see us the following day that were even attempting to do the second show. We ended up not doing it, but
I wanted that second show, man, so bad.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But that was the moment for us when we were like, okay, so this is crazy. So this is like, for me, I knew we could sell out the first one. But the moment that the second one became like a reality, I was like, shh. And they even, I mean, you have to understand, us as an artist, we're emotion, you know, we want stuff, but but the people at UBS actually handling the data, even considering it, we're like, that means like this is how close we came to reality.
So me personally, the other day when we launched Miami, and then we didn't launch it the way we wanted to, right? And I was like, oh my God, because we have a group chat together, we're talking, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, you know, we totally dropped the ball on this one. You know, we're not selling it. Richard's like, yo, dude, calm down. Like, give it a week. And then data starts coming in. And then we were at, I don't know, we were 6,000 or 7,000. I don't remember what the number was. And I was like, see, I told you we dropped the ball. We're not going to sell out. Richard's like, dude, it's Miami.
Yeah.
Wait until the last week.
Yeah.
We sold out. You know, we sold out. So, and
Miami,
because, yeah,
you guys know that.
We're last minute, but we're coming.
I've been out in the business for so long that I don't have the experience that he has in terms of, you know, knowing the Miami market, because I've been out of the game for a good 8 years now. But when I was like, oh my God, we have to, you know, make sure we press the gas in the marketing department. We have to just, you know, market. It's like, yo, dude, trust me, Miami last week, that's when you're gonna see the numbers, and then we sold out.
Yeah. No, I love that. No, we're coming to Miami. We're coming. Like, don't worry about us. We're gonna be there. You brought up Paris, and I didn't say too much about the first Paris show that you first performed at. But during that Paris show is when you lost one of your bandmates, Mickael Guirand, like our brother, my guy, that was temporarily also part of Carimi during, you know, this when you guys were trying to decide, you know, what you're going to do. Always.
It's the unofficial.
He was not official, but he was always in the background. You know, and so, I was always working with him. Richard was always working with him, and Michael. So he was a good friend. I've known Mickael. I went to high school middle school with Mickael. Wow. I knew Mickael was 13 years old. So it's not like we happened to know Mickael when he was doing music. We knew Mickael since we were kids, so we grew up together. So that's it. So that's why when he passed, it really hit us hard because it's someone that we grew up with. It's not someone we just knew thanks to music.
That was a hard one.
No, that was definitely a hard one for all of us. And for your show in New York, I remember that was one of the key things. Like even when we were seeing things online, we just wanted to see, and we were wondering, like, what was that going to look like? And you guys did such a beautiful tribute for him. Yeah. So even going into reunion shows, like, how has his passing and what he meant to you guys and the band influenced what his set looked like? Or do you continue to tribute, so you switch it up? Or how does that even influence, like, how you guys work now, even preparing for a show for what happened in Paris?
For the people that don't know, I mean, I'm going to let you talk, but for the people that don't know, for every big thing that Carimi has done, he's always been there.
Yeah.
So he wasn't there for like the regular gigs, you know, all the time. But every time we had like a big thing coming up, like whether it would be a Zenith, whether it would be something, he would always be there. So whenever we would put together a show, he would always be like, you know, a part of the mix because, you know, we already had our routines. It was like an easy fit. It's just like, oh, whatever. We don't even have to rehearse because we should get the set up, we should get the correct. So for me, it was nice having him, not only for a breather, but, you know, it just makes it more impactful. Yeah. It's just like, it gives you that Kassav feeling. Yeah. You know, whenever Kassav is there, when they had like that entire lineup. You know, so it wasn't only on me and Richard and Carlo to deliver, but we had that extra weapon that we can use to give the people something, let's say, different from what they would see in like a regular Carimi ball. So for me, it was like a given. For him to be a part of anything huge Carimi that we were gonna do, and I'm not gonna lie to you, still today, I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Still like, don't believe it.
Yeah.
No, Mickael was it. He was so excited about that show, and I know like he's looking down at all of your shows and he's proud because what you're doing is what he absolutely wanted. So I know he is proud to see like what you guys will continue to do with Carimi. I want to ask y'all before we take like 1 or 2 questions from like our audience. 2001 Carimi to where you are now. What is something that you would say to your younger self?
Wow, so much stuff to say, man.
What is one thing you would say to your younger self after this journey and where you are right now?
You should have learned the business.
I mean,
Me personally, I would say honestly, my younger self, I would say be less emotional when I was younger, and be more, because we had this theme about, you know, ça c'est campam, ça c'est team pam, and stuff like that, right? And
Obligé de bravo, parce que sous mes courages, vous dites tout ça.
But it's true. I mean, we grew, right? I think we grew, and I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made personally is and I learned that late, and I wish I did not, is, you know, making. It's like I had my team, right, which is Carimi, and then there were other bands who were trying to compete with us, and then me, I took it very seriously, right? So I would be like, you know, not talk to this guy, not talk to that guy, whatever, because he was part of this other camp, stuff like. So we were taking this very seriously. But later on, you know, you realize like this is just total BS. Like, you know, we have this one life, you know, and God gave us the talent. We're all sharing the stage, and now I'm sitting back. I'm like, I lost great moments that I could have shared with these guys, right? That I don't have anymore. Oh yeah, I'm trying to bring it back, right? Because I'm friends with all of them now, you know, and I'm trying to like, you know, kind of gain those times back, but it's already lost. And I wish I wasn't that emotional at the time, and because those times are long gone, and I'm not able to share with them anymore. Yeah. And I'm just, you know, trying to bring it back a little bit. But I think if I was less emotional, it would have been way better.
I love that.
Wow. All right, so learn the business.
He said the business, emotions.
Emotions. For me, it would be better balance. So I think we go into the mind frame of, oh, we got to play every weekend. If we don't play every weekend, we're losing our edge. We're not number one. Who cares? I mean, there's no like official ranking. You understand? So every time we would be looking at the business, we would be fixated on, oh, we got to do this. We got to go for more. We got to go for more. Oh, no vacation, no weekends off, no nothing. All in, all or nothing. So I think it takes a toll. Yeah. And I think that's what, if I would be comparing my Carimi experience to my Vibe experience, Vibe is just like, we're just chilling. It's like cruising. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I kid you not.
You just vibing?
Yeah, I kid you not. So what it does is, you will have like high pressure moments. You will have high pressure situations, but you have to create other times to offset that, so you can always stay, you know, stable. I think what we did with Carimi is like we got fixated with going after it. We don't know what we were going after, but we were going after something. I mean, it paid off, because I will tell you, whatever we're living today with the Carimi brand is because we went so hard. Yeah. But again, we paid dearly for it.
It was the pressure of success, definitely.
You know,
we're trying to keep at it because people had high expectations from us. So that pressure was like, we have to have a hit. We have to do this. We have to do that. You know, so I think that pressure got to us. And then Mickael felt it a lot, because that's when he really needed the break also, because he's the front man. So he's getting the brunt of that pressure. Me and Richard, we're in the back, we're chilling, right? So he kind of felt the brunt of it, and he needed that break, and we did not understand that. But for all of us, it was definitely the pressure of success. We just really had to deliver and deliver and deliver. And once we felt that we could not deliver as well anymore, that's when it hit us.
You know, the key thing I'm hearing that you're saying, like even with the messages to your younger self, when you started, you said a lot of the reason why you didn't pay attention to the business, you weren't worried about, you know, the plans and everything else, is because you were passionate. For you, it's like, we're going in, we're doing music, we're just gonna do this for us, we're doing this out of love, we're doing this for our fans, and that's a lot of what I feel like I'm feeling like here, and even with you three, like reuniting. So, with the reunion tour and even the concerts, I feel like that's what people are going to get, or that's what they're getting from you, because you're back now, but you're back at it. You're passionate about the shows. You're passionate about being on stage. You're passionate about hearing the fans. So you went back, really, to those first 1 to 2 years of how you first started.
But I think we're smarter now, and we're grown now.
Yeah.
And we understand the business better now. And I understand to not be emotional anymore, for example, right? Which makes a better environment for these guys, because I used to give these guys a lot of headache because of my emotions, right? And I think, all of us we're at fault with that. But I think now is more of been there, done that. We know what it's about. We love each other. We're really great friends. But it got to the better of us. You know what I'm saying? So we know what it's about.
Yeah.
And now we're all about our passion now, and give our community and our culture what it really needed. Because right now I think we need that. We need this unity right now with everything that's going on in our country. So I think us coming together to give that is the most important thing. And like I said, we've grown, we know what it's about, and we're just about music.
Can I ask you a crazy question?
Yeah.
Do you think if we didn't break up, we would be able to do what we're doing right now with the brand?
No.
I don't know. I don't know. Not me. I don't know. I feel like it would have been bigger. I feel like it would have been bigger. So I don't know. My answer is, I didn't want y'all to break, so the answer gonna be you shouldn't have break. It would have been bigger. You would have been right here.
Think about it. Scarcity creates value.
That's true too.
Exactly.
That's true.
So the fact that we're scarce, right? We're not here all the time. It creates this value, and that's why we're able to do what we're doing. If we were here performing every weekend, we would not be able to do it because we're not scarce.
No, it's true.
That's true.
Even in the negative, even in the negative, right? The positive will always come out of it. So even though you're going through some bad stuff, it's only temporary.
Always remember, after separation, you're having a band that does an arena for the first time. I mean, there's no way you could tell that story without better. So, we should just learn to appreciate and take it right now for what it is. We always want war already, but let's allier.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate what it was. I appreciate what it is right now.
You appreciate what it will be.
What it will be.
That's it.
I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful for. I know you guys have the show on Friday. You're sitting here with me like 2 days before the show, or 3 days before the show. Yeah. So I'm so grateful that you guys took the time to sit with me today. And I know the Leon Seed family is absolutely going to love and appreciate that you did this as well and answer some of our questions. We will all be there on Friday. We are selling out Miami. We're selling out Miami, okay? New York. We're selling out Miami. So we will see you on Friday. Before that, I just have something that Leon Sweet family, 2 of my Leon Sweet family members are here, Sandy Dorsonville and Akaju. We put something together for you guys. If you look on the side of the couch, there are, I'll pull yours, Richard. There are 3 boxes on the side.
Oh my God, wow. Oh, wow. Where?
Right here. Where is Michael's box? Is it too far? I think it's behind. Do I have to get it?
Do we have to open it together?
Yes, you have to open it together. You
see
got
it?
Mr. Bailey's just there. You got it?
Zin.
So we have these boxes for you from Leon Sweet, Heritage Rum, as well as Akaju. They are here today. If you can just open it.
Nice.
All Haitian brands.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
This is definitely going to my dressing room on Friday so I can drink it before the show.
Yes, we should. New Haitian rum.
I love
Heritage Rum. I hope you guys enjoy. The boxes are, of
I
course.
appreciate you guys did not put an H for the K in my name. I love that. Because every time they write my name, it's always with an H, and my mom said it has to be with a K. So thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, so we got it right. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Do you have any last things that you want to say to the Lean Sweet family before we take 1 or 2 questions from the audience, if we can, because I know you guys got to go because you have rehearsal as well.
I think that what we represent with time is priceless.
Yeah.
I mean, what we've done throughout the years is priceless. But what I will tell you is when we existed, it was the pre-social media era. So a lot of the stuff happening in our industry today, I mean, we do not see the business that way. So one of the extra motivation for us was to really come back and show that it can be done a different way. Because a lot of the time that we were doing much of the stuff that we were doing, but we were always doing them outside. They always said that, maybe we were playing some other type of music and not understanding that the compa is what we were actually playing. It's just the way that we were presenting it to the public during the shows. That was what was creating that energy that we had. So right now, for me, or for this generation, you know, certain things for us is taboo. We don't go into certain types of behaviors. Come see, we hold ourselves to a certain standard. So that to be able to still prove in the business that you can act like that and still have that level of success, I think it's refreshing to the youth. I think it's refreshing to the people, to the next generation, the ones that are gonna carve whatever our music industry is gonna be, you know, in the future. So for me, I think the last part of this whole thing is that, for me, is to be able to show, you know, to be like, all right, you remember there was something that was called Carimi? Well, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's full glory and it's full like, you know, substance. So to have that opportunity to be like, to the kids that did not have a chance, to the young producers, to the young artists that did not have a chance to see us, you know, to give them the opportunity to live that and be like, yo, this is what you could do. You don't have to do it like that. You don't have to do it this way, but this is what you can do, and this is the reward, and this is what you can get from it.
Thank you so much, Mickael. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for being here.